Rebuilding a Rustproof Land Rover, Part 27. There were some oil leaks from the rear differential pinion and the gearbox, which needed rectifying by fitting new oil seals. Owing to my age, I find it difficult to work on the underside of this vehicle with it on the ground. So once again, I booked it into Rossmore Garage. I felt it was a job for a ramp and an experienced mechanic with proper tools. Here it is up on the ramp in one of the bays at Rossmore Garage. And the man doing the job, as usual, is called Tom. This diff has been leaking for quite a while. As you can see, there's quite a lot of oil underneath it. When we drained the oil from the back axle, it was a real surprise how much came out. I thought there'd be hardly any left in there, because it has been leaking for quite a while. But how wrong could I be? There was plenty of oil left in the back axle. We drained it anyway and replenished it with some new stuff, after changing the oil seal, that is. This is a shot of the other end of the prop shaft, and the strange-looking lump in the middle is the fairy overdrive unit, a really clever gadget. It gives you more gears and more flexibility to get the best out of this engine. The engine is a 2¼ litre diesel engine, which doesn't give a great deal of power, but sufficient to move the Land Rover at a good speed. Tom begins by releasing the prop shaft from both ends. This, of course, is releasing the prop shaft from the differential end. This was quite a routine job, so I went outside and had a look in the scrap bin, which was nowhere near full, but nevertheless there was quite a lot of interesting stuff in it. I really had to fight the urge not to take that spanner. Instead, I went back inside. And here's a shot of my Rustproof Land Rover on the ramp. Not every bit of the Land Rover is rust-proof, but the main parts like the chassis and the bulkhead really are rust-proof. I had the bulkhead hot zinc metal sprayed, then I filled it with 5 litres of wax oil and rotated it every day for about a week. What Tom is currently doing is drilling a hole in the old oil seal because it needs to be pulled out. The logic is fit a self-tapping screw, then you can pry out the oil seal without damaging anything. The trouble with oil seals is they seldom look worn, but they are, of course, after having been in there for such a long time. Here is a prop shaft, and this is one of the parts that is not rust-proof. But this is okay, it's not going to corrode away anytime soon. On the floor under the ramp, apart from some tools, is a special bucket to collect the oil that we release from the gearbox. Here's a shot of the brake drum on the floor, ready to be cleaned up. Despite having drained the oil from the gearbox, there is still some oil coming out from where the oil seal was. Tom very carefully tapped the new oil seal into position using a socket. It took a couple of attempts to get it straight, but he got there in the end. Just to be doubly sure, he had another go at levelling it up. Then he refitted the pinion, put on the washer, the castellated nut, and refitted the split pin. That's the first part of the job done. Now it's time to do the other part, which is the differential oil seal. Same principle, remove the split pin, remove the castellated nut, and then we found that this particular oil seal was clad in metal, and it was almost impossible to remove. This is another shot of my workshop floor from 1999. I had quite a few differentials from various sources. I picked the best 2 and reconditioned them. All I did really was carefully adjust them to take up the backlash. The problem is I forgot what type of differential I used from Series 2A and Series 3 Land Rovers. Or did I use Land Rover 90 differentials? I really couldn't remember. It was a long time back. Removing this diff pinion oil seal was a real pain. Look how much damage we had to do to it. It's clad in metal. Tom drilled a hole and fitted a self-tapping screw. That didn't work, so he drilled another hole and fitted another self-tapping screw, and eventually it parted company with the differential. I was given some really good advice from Blanchard's, which is a company who sell Land Rovers, quite near to where I live. What were the differences between series differential pinion oil seals and 90 differential pinion oil seals? Usually the series differentials had a 4-spline shaft, whereas 90 differentials had a multi-spline shaft. And to be on the safe side, I bought both types. We ended up using the 90 oil seal because it more closely resembled the one we removed. After a while the prop shaft was back in position and the gearbox and back axle were filled with EP90 gear oil. First of all, obviously we refitted the drain plug before refilling the back axle up to the right level. Tom the mechanic cleaned up all the areas using some brake cleaner. I've never seen them look as clean as this, not a drop of oil to be seen. The final job, after refitting the grease nipple that had to be removed to gain access to the nut, all the points were greased using a commercial heavy-duty grease gun. This was a strange experience. What we're doing at the moment is looking for oil leaks. There are still some oil leaks coming from the engine and a fuel leak, yet another fuel leak that I missed. It was a strange experience up in the air on top of the ramp with the engine running. But that's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.